Welcome to the Hobby Scout, the show where we slow the hobby down just enough to actually think. I'm Big J, and every week we take a look at what the hobby is chasing, what's ignoring, and where patience still pays. This isn't a hype show. It's not a box script highlight reel, but we'll get to some of that. It's a scout's view hobby. Why behind the buy, and the risk behind the rip. Opportunities that are going to show up when everyone's looking. So, whether you're ripping, stacking singles, or just trying not to make a bad decision, you're in the right place. So, all right, guys, we are back for episode 2. Hope you enjoyed that first one there. If you didn't, go back and give it a listen. We were talking about Bowman Draft, especially the hobby version of that. And guys, man, it was hot. It's still fairly hot, but you know that's starting to fade a little bit. And hopefully it's because you guys are out there getting more singles, looking at cases at card shows, and you're ready to go. So we'll dive in here today and see, are things a little over-concentrated on the hobby side for Bowman Draft, or are you fatigued by spending your money on this stuff, or are you all out of money? Are you chasing too much? Could you have taken all that money you spent on Bowman Draft Jumbo breaks and just bought the card you were looking for or something similar? That's something I think we all need to take a look at is, what's my end goal here? What am I looking for out of the hobby? Is it fun? Am I just, have I found a breaker that I just like to hang out with, get some cards? Who knows? Buy a team, buy your favorite team, or are you really prospecting out there and rolling those dice? So, I don't think fatigue stops buying, but it does change your behavior. I know it changes mine. I know that I'm a little tired of certain retail products right now, and the amount of money I've spent on some of it, could have just bought big cards, right? So it could change my behavior, but the thing is, when everything else is loud, guys, you need to look and see where the silence is hiding the value. And so I think that's some of those things that we may want to talk about today. So what's in the shadows, what's along those edges, and so interesting what you guys are thinking too. So if you would, drop a comment down below or send me a chat and tell me what you think. So with that, I think we'll move on to how I'm choosing to participate, and that means this upcoming week, guys, I've already gotten the notification from Topps that my Bowman Draft Megas are in the mail. So let's see if the winter weather, the southeast and mid-Atlantic have been getting will slow the packages down, but I chose the Megas. The Megas, I can rip a lot of cards. It's got big potential as well. Those wonderful mojo packs that everybody's looking for. And for me, you get a lot in there. And so there's some volume there. You're ripping lots of base cards, but you're also, you've got those mojo packs. And at the end of the day, I think for me right now, I'd rather have a lot of cards, because over the next 5 years, if I focused on one player in Bowman Draft, the odds of that player busting over the next 5 years is pretty good. But out of, you see there, 20 boxes per case in Bowman Draft Megas. If I ripped a whole case of this, we'd have a ton of stuff. Now, you could have long-term goals there of stashing some cards, or maybe short-term goals of flipping, or maybe a mixture. Maybe there's some guys you're going to hang on to, the rest of it you're going to flip. Who knows? I know I always love going back through boxes. Other thing it does is kind of helps you learn who's out there. I mean, it's nothing like taking those cards, flipping them over, reading a little bit on the back. Call me old school, but I love that. Love seeing when they were drafted, what they were doing. The other nice part about this Bowman draft is it's kind of a controlled rip, right? So you buy one box of that, or in my case, 6 boxes. We're going to rip in the National Sports Card group on Facebook. Get 6 of those boxes, and who knows, right? You can control that. You can take your time. You can save some for later. You get a $600 to $900 box of Bowman Draft Hobby. Ain't no control there, Bubba. You're just going to go ahead and rip that. So for guys like me on a little bit more of a fixed budget, it's friendly. You can pick up 6 boxes of this, or at least you could, for a little over $300, and that gets you halfway to a hobby box. And who knows what we'll pull? Maybe we'll hit a nice big Mojo refractor auto with some color on it. So who knows? I'm not trying to win the draft on this by any means, but I do want to understand it. I want to have some fun, enjoy the hobby, see some of the new prospects on their first Bowman cards, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that as well. So I'm going to be ripping that in, like I said, that National Sports Card group on Facebook. You can buy into the breaks there. Every card ships. I don't keep any of them unless you tell me to. So after that, that's coming up in the next week. After that, February 11th, Top Series 1. I bought into that. That's that flagship yearly anchor, first product of 2026. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully you guys have gotten into some of that as well. And if not, still out there. You can still get you some. I think Topps website may have already sold out. These were $100 a box, one guaranteed hit. That's either an auto or a relic, and I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, is that more than 5-6 years ago? Yeah. I mean, I think 2018 hobby boxes were $50 a box. I mean, it ain't going back there, guys. It's not. But you look around, all the other prices, it's kind of the same. And it's not going back there either. So let's just go ahead and move on and call this, hey, in today's prices, this is a good deal. We've had some good luck ripping hobby, update, hobby, which hobby this year for high number, that's the only way you could get it. We'll talk about high number here in a little bit. But let's see, what else did we get? Archives hobby was great. Did some really good stuff with Archives hobby. All that was affordable, so you don't have to break the bank. Have a good time in this hobby. So on February 11th, it's going to kind of reset things into 2026. That anchor of the flagship Series 1. And it's the 75th anniversary of Topps, so that's going to be a really cool historic release as well. And you're going to get some early exposure to some rookies that aren't going to have cards really again until maybe the summer. And so those cards, kind of takes those guys into their rookie age of relevance, and gets out of the Bowman products and into the flagship. They're going to have those rookie Real One autos in there, and you see that there on the screen. Looks good. I mean, it's got the some jersey stripe on there, and the flagship is one of those too. Series 1, it's going to build. Who knows what's going to be in Series 2, but obviously same design. And there's going to be all sorts of cool stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I've got 3 hobby boxes ordered. But let me tell you what I didn't get ordered. And I missed it, and I'm almost glad I did. Because I may just go buy singles this year. But I missed Stadium Club. And Stadium Club went down from 2 hits to 1 per box. It's sold out really quick, so it's still a hobby favorite. They put Chrome back in the hobby boxes instead of a standalone product. So Stadium Club Chrome is going to be in its own going to be in Stadium Club this year. So take a look at that if you want. Plenty of retail still out there to pre-order on Topps.com. You can jump in there. I would encourage you guys order from Topps.com. Don't get gouged on some of these other places. Now, when it runs out, it runs out. You go do what you got to do. But if you jump in there before the release date, don't mind spending money up front to get your product later. That's kind of the way I'm doing it. So, I'm looking forward to Series 1. It's affordable. You can have some fun. You can pull some good stuff. You may not make your money back, but look, it's a gamble anyways. At the end of the day, it should be fun. Who knows? You may have that big hit. You may make way more than you got in it. Expensive wax, man, it always punishes. I just, unless you hit the monster, nobody feels real good about how that ends up. So, I think the more you do this as well, the more you understand how Topps is structuring things these days. And so at the end of the day, guys, would just, encourage you guys to buy affordable wax. The expensive stuff it's just going to punish you. And the more you do it, the more you're going to have that instinct. So set some cash aside for that, or, always buy singles at the end of the day if you're really worried about your money. So, prospects that we're going to be watching here. I'm not going to give you any names today, but I think, you can look around and see who those are. Roman Anthony. They're going to be expensive, though, So some things to look for in the coming months that, may set you apart from the guys that are just jumping on the bandwagon. So we may take a look at Bowman Draft products from years past. So, we're thinking singles here. We're thinking guys that were maybe first-round draft picks, had some love but didn't quite perform, or, maybe got injured and they're back and the fatigue was there, so their prices are way down. Right now, the hobby's kind of bored on those, and they're snapping up all the 2025 Bowman Draft. And so, if you're thinking Bowman Draft, but this stuff is a little too overpriced, find some of those guys that you can snatch up their singles, and they're poised for maybe a big year, a step forward. We talk about Bowman Draft as that product where you grab it, you stick it in a box for 5 years, and then you come back to it. Well, this is year 2 out of year 5, and people have forgotten about some of these cats. So you can snatch them up pretty good, low prices. Would encourage you guys to maybe look there. Series 1, you're going to get some of those new rookie cards, but same concept. Good time to look back into past years Series 1 and find those guys that, what I may be looking for are the guys that have been traded to big teams, or some guys that were, maybe behind depth that are really good, and have some rookie cards out there that are affordable. Also understand that just because they've got a rookie card and they were a bust last year, that doesn't mean it's going to be a bust this year. You take a look at guys like Bobby Witt Jr. His initial debut time in the league was not that good. Now you're talking about a MVP caliber guy. Then maybe you look at a Gunnar Henderson who come out, had an MVP type year, and then last year was really a bust. On a follow-up. His stuff is super cheap. Jackson Holiday, you can look at young guys like that. Go ahead and take a flyer. Julio Rodriguez, another name that you could look at. So while everybody's starting to focus on Roman Anthony and Caglione, Mizrowski of Series 1, you can take a look at these other places and find a lot of value down the stretch. So just understand some of this stuff, these early big boomers, the performance is more than likely going to lag. And so you may overpay up front, but also, you're getting the first chance at these Series 1 cards as well. So I would tell you there's room for both. Jump in a break of your favorite team, but also maybe take a look back at some of the product, the rookies that, maybe come in, weren't super hot, but they've got that pedigree there. And always, you've got guys that had an injury, a down year because of that, got hit in the ribs or a pinky or something, going to come roaring back this year. You got the guys that were big, highly touted prospects. I mean, you take a look at Pete Crow Armstrong. That guy, his cards went way down. And then out of nowhere, boom, he shows up this year. Cards go right back up. You could have loaded up on him a year or so ago pretty cheap. And then at the All-Star break, made out like a bandit. So, just keep an eye on things like that. The hobby is incredible at reacting, and it is terrible at waiting. And I would encourage you guys to not be in the reactionary phase when you're buying right now this off season. Maybe take a look at those singles of the guys from the years past that may be lying in wait. And so, we'll go ahead and move on to our next segment here. We're going to call it the Rip, Skip, and Singles segment. For all you guys out there we've been talking about these products here, and let's just say this is a ritual. We're going to be calm. We're going to be confident. And we're going to rip Bowman Draft Mega Boxes. So that's one of those. They're affordable, guys. Helps you stay involved. Scratch that itch. Get you a rip in. I'm going to be ripping quite a bit of this. It's a fun product. The downside is manageable. This is one of those products, though, that if you bought 6 boxes of it, that was your budget, and you didn't get what you want the first time, I wouldn't go buy 6 more of them, because it could be the same exact thing. If you want to spend that money, just go ahead and buy those singles that you're looking for. You are going to be able to be familiar with plenty of these prospects by the time you get done ripping a few of these boxes. And this is one that I don't mind ripping because it helps me stay patient and wait for some other stuffs. And also, if you're looking for product, hey, it's out there. People are loving it, and it's hot. I tell you what I would skip right now. So if we move on from rip into the skip, I'm skipping high dollar draft. That's the hobby, the jumbo. The pricing, I'm out. It's too expensive. There's no way I can afford that. Your average collector, it's not in the cards for them. Your money's locked in for way too long. There's too much room for error. The margin is thin. And at these prices, you're buying expectations, and your expectations really should be low. It's boom or bust. So I'd skip out on that high dollar draft hobby. So rip, skip, and now we're on to singles. The risk here, guys, you kind of know what you're buying. If you're buying graded, you really know what you're buying. If you're buying ungraded, just make sure you're looking at good pictures. The talent of these guys hasn't really changed. If they're in the league, you know what skill set you're looking at, and there's tons of data out there. A lot of these guys have played in winter leagues if they're young, and I would just tell you, patience is often rewarded here. If you jump in and you've bought some of these, maybe these guys that had a rookie card, let's just say back in 2024, 2023, you're probably getting some of those at pretty well priced. They're going to be cheap, and if you're patient here, they may be paying off. You're buying 2-3 year old rookie cards, good shape, maybe find some nice parallels or graded base. And at that point, I'm looking pretty optimistic a few months into the season. Plus, we're getting ready for spring training. So some of those young guys may be getting some added hype, and you might, if you're a flip or a hold kind of guy, might be able to flip some early, or who knows, hold long term. So I'm looking forward to all of that. And I tell you, the other thing that I'm looking forward to is I'm looking forward to maybe keeping an eye on some things that may be a little bit more affordable to rip, and that is hobby. So we'll go with the hobby stuff, and let's just take a look at one of my favorites. It's going to be high number. And so right now, tonight, if you wanted a hobby box of high number, these things, they started at $100. You can pick one up for $115 plus shipping and taxes and fees. That hasn't moved too far from what Topps was selling these at. You get a lot in these hobby boxes this year. You get chrome refractors, you get numbered cards, you get one hit. A lot of times that's an autograph, and you know, if you wanted to take a step up from there, you've got Topps Update. These are tonight's numbers on eBay: $135, $145 plus shipping and fees. That hasn't moved much either, you know, since they come out. And we've had good luck with hobby products versus retail. I'd encourage you, you know, if your budget's in that $100, $150 range, I'd take a look at these hobby products, or maybe sell a few extra things, or jump in a break, because you're way more likely to get some nice stuff. That's where I'm looking. You know, after Series 1, maybe bounce back into some of this product and stash it away. So who knows? All right. Well, it's going to help close us out here today, and would love to know what you're ripping, what you're skipping, or if you're just buying singles right now. We can compare notes on the next episode, and would encourage you to focus on the one action that you can do, and don't rush it. You know, at the end of the day, don't be in a rush. That's how you lose money. And with that, guys, it's Big J coming back to you with episode number 2. Hope you've enjoyed it. Have a good one.